What's up, everybody? You are joining the Juice Box Heroes podcast, the first one of 2025. I'm your host, PK. As always, I've got the fan club president for Mauricio Dubon, Mr. Chris, and we got Bryles in the house. Guys, Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a wonderful New Year's Eve. How's everything going?
Oh, man. I mean, it's been busy, super busy this week. Really, pretty much since I've been on vacation, since the 20th of December, it's been like one constant, nonstop honey-do list. It's pretty much what it's been. So it's nice to, kind of like have things kind of wind down. But again, it's kind of like, a catch-22. As it winds down, then it's going to be ready to go back to work. I mean, so it is what it is. We had a good 4th of July. I can tell you this, man. League City, now that they've
4th of July.
Officially made fireworks no longer illegal, they pop fireworks from like 6 to like literally 2:30 in the morning. So that was kind of cool. It's always nice to not to have to like go out anywhere because we can just really sit in our backyard or the front yard. So it went pretty well. Bryles, how did y'all New Year's go?
It went fantastic. You nailed it, man. We got to actually pop some fireworks in the cul-de-sac, so that was pretty awesome. Happy New Year to everybody out there listening, to all of our Juicebox Hero fans. And yeah, man, it's been a good couple of weeks on vacation here. I did actually go into the office, send a couple emails, and the only thing I got was a bunch of out of offices. So I was like, well, this is stupid. Let's get back to baseball and trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I got let's see, what's tomorrow's Friday, so I've got 3 more days before it's back to the office. So yeah, it's been nice couple of weeks off. We did just some basic fireworks here out in the front yard, sprinklers, sparklers, black cats. Let me tell you, like, the fact that they still make those pop rocks, the little white ones that throw down.
Yeah.
Like, still the best thing ever. But anyways, it was a good New Year's Eve. I made it till 11:30. I tried.
That's how you know you're getting old.
That's 100% how I know I'm getting old. I did wake up at like 2 though, and was like, "Why are you still popping fireworks, people?" So, all in all, it was good. Nothing too crazy, but yeah. Now it's New Year. Let's get this thing in motion. Let's see what's going to happen with Bregman. We've got a few things to talk about. Minute Maid is now not Minute Maid officially as of midnight on December 31st. It is now called Diakin Park, which always so far has reminded me of Lincoln Park. I don't know why that goes together with me, but it does. So curious to see what is going to be in the train. What is going to replace the oranges in the train? So I'm sure we'll find out by the time that the home spring training game, that last little home game before the season kicks off, I would imagine. So we have that. We got some news about the minor league system. A new rating came out, increases our rating a little bit, and we got a few hot takes we want to talk about. So, Chris, let's kick it off, man. What you got? What are you thinking?
Oh, man. Well, I guess what I'll do is before we get knee deep into Astros talk, I just want to give a shout out to my man Rolando at Rolo Sports. I mean, he's a small business, out of Alvin, Texas. And I was at the point where it's like, man, I spent these last month buying for everybody else. It's time to treat myself. I went ahead and ordered something for him. That dude messaged me like within 30 minutes, said, "Hey, I got you." The next morning messaged me. So big shout out to Ronaldo. I'm sorry. Rolo Sports. Check these guys out. I think he's on all the buying platforms of like Mercari, eBay. There's a couple other ones I've never heard of. So those are the 2 main 2. But now that plug is taken care of, man, like I went ahead and I looked at the new rankings for the Astros minor league system. And it looks like just with the addition of Cam Smith, he has elevated us from 30th to 19. So
halfway there, baby.
Hey, baby steps. So, I mean, it looks like they, a lot of the baseball, I guess minor league experts or whatever are expecting big things from him. Definitely, like I said, the guy that we've talked about a lot is Jacob Melton. And then we have also Bryce Matthews coming up. And then, we got a lot of other guys that, may not be high on everybody else's list. But, like we've said before on this podcast, I mean, it seems like the new growing trend for the Astros is that every year you're going to have one guy come out of nowhere from AAA that all of a sudden, like, holds down the fort, while some shenanigans go on, whether it's injuries or whatever. 2 years ago, it was JP France. Last year was Ronel Blanco. And I won't give away my hot take of who I think it's going to be this year. So what do you guys think?
What are the ETAs for those three guys?
I think Jacob Melton is probably going to be around June, July-ish.
Okay.
I would say
Bryce the 26.
Who for Cam Smith?
For Bryce.
Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, from the few times that I saw him down in Sugarland, I definitely think he needs at least another year.
Well, he needs some time.
Yeah, like he needs. I felt he was rushed to AAA. Like when I first saw that he was called up to AAA, I thought he was the guy that they were going to replace at third base. With Bregman leaving, and then everything that I saw, because yes, I am that nerd. I bought the MLB package to where I can watch the Space Cowboys game. I could stream those games. So I watched a handful of the last 11 games that he played. But it looks like now that they've kind of put the halt on that. Excuse me. So my question with Bryce Matthews is, now that you have Cam Smith now is going to be the token guy that's going to take over third base. You have Pena at shortstop. You have Altuve at second. Where on this roster are you going to put Bryce Matthews unless you move him to the outfield? So that's kind of like my thinking. So I think Cam Smith's going to be more of 2026. I mean, unless he just like goes off, he might come up. But again, with Paredes at third, I don't know where they're going to put him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was like, now that you got Paredes at third, it's like, as far as Cam Smith is concerned, I mean, we got plenty of time to let him just, get done whatever he needs to get done at AAA. I totally agree with you. Bryce Matthews definitely needs some time too. And then, we got to see the Space Cowboys win the AAA championship. So I thought that was not only really cool, but I think that also helped elevate our farm system ranking, in addition to getting Cam Smith put in there. So, I mean, as far as like the outfielders are concerned, you could see Pedro Leon coming up. You could see Jacob Melton possibly coming up later. It just depends on, kind of how his spring goes, because I'm assuming he's going to get a invite to the big league spring training. And then, of course, we'll see how he does there. And, that's pretty much what it looks like to me. But before I give it up one more time, if you guys haven't noticed, for our first podcast of 2025, I got to give a shout out to Chris. He's done a lot of work, and notice we've got a whole new platform out here. It looks fantastic. We're upping the quality of our show. We're super excited about it, and hope for you guys out there listening that, this is going to be super awesome for you guys too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Chris he's done a great job. He's done a great job setting this up for us. So let's not give him too much praise, because I have to work with the guy, so I'm gonna have to hear about it every day. And we have a lot of meetings together at the office. But no, and I was gonna say, like, he's done a great job.
I mean, I'm using my level 1 digital skills over here. Like, I'm pretty sure there might be some people that like are a lot better at this, and they're like, man, it's decent for a rookie, and that's fine. I'm a rookie. Like, I did spend a lot of time. But again, so like, Bro was saying, like, we're trying to, it's a new year. Speaking of new year, on New Year's Day, I was doing the big one no that I found out New Year's night. Was it New Year's night? It was New Year's night.
I told you that. Yes, sir.
Apparently, you're not supposed to clean on New Year's Day, because that's bad luck. But when I was cleaning out the garage, I went ahead and I listened back to the very first episode of the Juice Box Heroes. And we've talked about this when we had Brett from Locked On Astros on. PK was in his car. I was in the bathroom, and it's just like, I don't know how I made it through 30 minutes, because I was like, man, this sounds terrible. It's completely terrible. So
it was absolutely garbage. I listened to about 3 minutes. I'm like, I don't even know how anybody hit the follow button.
Yeah, I told PK, I was like, now I know why none of my family listens. I was like, that was kind of a they shot, that we shot that before it even started. But kind of like, I do kind of listen every now and then to our later ones, and it's just kind of like night and day as far as where we came from, where we're at right now. I mean, I know as us three, we're not even close to being where we want to be. So we're going to continue to try to be, I guess, what you would call students of the game. But I appreciate the kind words. I hope it looks okay. I hope everyone watching, is liked the presentation so far. So there you go.
Yeah. So I was just no, Christopher, you've done a great job. Like it looks fantastic. So, but going back to the topics that we're talking about, we were talking about our three top prospects. But are y'all keeping up with the Zenzo in the Puerto Rican League?
Yeah, dude, he's mashing.
Dude,
like from what I heard, yeah, he's mashing because
his slash 379, 472, 414, 5 walks in his first 8 games. So right now I'm looking at this thing as the top 8 prospects standing out in winter ball. Okay, and he's the 3rd guy on the list, but still he's having a really good winter in Puerto Rico. So I'm hoping that translates, to February when he shows up for spring training. But I just didn't know if you guys were keeping up or had seen anything about him. And he's doing some things down there.
Didn't he also play in the Arizona Fall League too?
He did.
I was going to say, and I think he was raking down there too. He must have got word that Dana Brown said that they're going to give him a shot to play left field.
Yeah, Scottsdale Scorpions were wrecking shop in the fall ball.
So he's like our number 5 prospect. I'm assuming, is that what he is? He's got to be.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he still
yeah. I mean, I think it's number 1 is Cam Smith, number 2 Jacob Melton, number 3 is Bryce Matthews, number 4 is the catcher we just drafted.
From Oregon, the linebacker.
Yeah, and then it's the Zenzo. I think it's Walker Yannick or Janik, however you pronounce it. So
yeah. But he was the middle linebacker for Oregon. I don't know if you knew that.
I like it. I didn't know that.
No,
but I like it.
So I watched the first few picks, or try to get to the Astros pick during actually watch the MLB draft. Right,
man, that's what I'm talking about. PK, look at you doing that extra homework. I like it. I like it.
I think that was because there's nothing on. That's not the point. The point is,
I don't know why'd you have to ruin it. You should just be like, yeah, I do all this extra stuff in my off
just
time.
take it and run, man.
But the point of it was like, I was like, dude, this dude's an athlete, right? I mean, starting middle linebacker for Oregon, which up until yesterday they were a pretty good team, right? But but he's a pretty good damn catcher too. Mashes and got a good pop time. So we'll see, man. It's
not to mention it's going to challenge anybody who's going to try to run him over at home.
Well, yeah,
that was it.
They can't run anybody over. Thanks.
Hey, you never know. I mean, you need to stop being so soft. Lane.
Hey, you got to protect her though.
I get it. I'm not about the blocking rule, like all this crap, man. Get out there and let's do some.
Take one. You got all the gear on.
You have all the gear. You're the most protected player on the diamond when you're on defense.
But if we've got beanballs coming out there and you've got that guy behind the plate, you think anybody's going to be charged with the mound? They're going to get speared before they even get out there.
Yeah, form tackle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I like the. Let me get back to my notes. I'm not listening. Hang on. There it is.
Sounds like you're not listening.
I have my notes on my phone. I should probably write them down sometimes, but I've done that before, and then I can't read my handwriting. So then it becomes a problem. So it's better to have it in the phone. Or I could just have good handwriting. But anyways, it was good news to see our farm system get, re-ranked again. It's amazing what one freaking player can do, right? Like to your farm system, as far as from a ranking standpoint. But now the pressure's on him, right? Like, I mean, he's got a lot of eyes. I mean, he's got to produce.
Yeah.
So, but that's why you're ranked that high, because you can. I mean, the dude can crush. We've seen it. We've seen the videos.
Oh, yeah. He was smashing last year.
Yeah. So now it's up to Houston to continue to develop him and get him ready and, and build again, from our farm system. So I'm pretty pumped about it. We did talk about Diakin.
Like when I wrote Welcome to Diakin Park, all I could think about is that old dude from Jurassic Park. When they first see the brontosaurus and he's like, welcome to Jurassic Park. I don't know why it just popped. But I mean, like at the end of the day, it's a name. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't think we were going to spend too much time on it. Whatever, you know. If you want to still call it the juice box, still call it the juice box, right?
Look, I'm going to call it the juice box.
Yeah, I think we all are
collectively are going to call it the juice box.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of have to because we have standed united in keeping the name. So
that's right. That's right.
And they did release a couple of pictures. I'm sorry,
did they
cut you off? But they released a couple of pictures on
cuts me off all the time
on X or whatever, where they had like there was 2 cars behind that the engine on the train, was going to like be hauling or whatever, and they were basically glass see-through boxes that had ice cubes in them. So everything that we thought was going to happen is going to happen.
They're going to put ice cubes.
At least they're predictable. I mean, it makes all I'm saying is that stadium better be 68 degrees. That's all I'm saying. Like if they're going to go with the whole
in August
steam, it's like when they win instead of fireworks, they should drop like blue and like that North Carolina blue and white like confetti to make it look like it's like snow or something like that. That's what they should do.
You can tell Dana Brown that tomorrow at breakfast.
I will.
I
will.
Let him know. That's what we expect.
That's right. Us schmucks here at the Juice Box Heroes. This is what we demand. He's like, I don't
demand that you drop the Carolina blue and white confetti.
There you go. I like it.
All right, so Chris, you put out a poll this week.
Yeah. So like I know that we're in the knee deep into the off season. I mean, like winter meetings are over, so now like really like unless anything pops up. So I was like, man, hypothetical. We're seeing, I think the biggest or the last like decent size move that was made was Gleyber Torres signing with the Tigers. So that kind of ruled out, in my opinion, I thought it ruled out the Tigers from the Bregman sweepstakes, and so it got me thinking. And I made sure I put in this poll, this is a hypothetical, aka it's not real. Like, so the hypothetical was, what if nobody answered this $200 million, or when nobody answers this $200 million contract that Boris is seeking for Bregman? As an Astros fan, what would you do if Boris came back to the Astros and said, hey, we'll take, let's say, 175 for the 6 years? As an Astros fan, would you be, yeah, let's take him back and then let's find a way to flip Paredes for an outfielder? Or would you be, hey, Bregman, it was cool what we had while it lasted, but I'm pretty excited about these new players we brought in. I kind of want to see what this squad can do with the players that we have. And so I posted it on X and on Facebook. And on X, I want to say, I really want to, so it was about 56% saying, hey, it was cool while it lasted, but we're rolling on. I want to say, and then like Facebook didn't give me like a total amount of like a total amount of like votes, but that one was a little bit more lopsided. Let's say it was like 60-40. So it looks like the pulse of, I'm just going to say 150 people, because I don't know the exact number. I think we were all kind of under the impression that Breggy, it was cool while it lasted, but we're excited with this, with the squad that we have outside of the outfield. Let's run with it. So I guess my question to you two is, how would you feel if in that scenario Boris came back and said, hey, nobody wants to give us $200 million, we'll take 175 from the Astros? What would be y'all's takes on it?
So here's what I
first thing, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Browse.
No, I was gonna say the very first thing I think of when that comes up is like, yeah, okay, so the answer is yes. Of course we want Bregman back, right? But at the same time, if we take him back now that we've got Paredes, you've got to do one of two things. You got to flip him, or other than that, I mean, he's going to be a platoon guy that could play DH as well. and then you're putting Jordan over in left. And, you know, they've already said they don't want to put Jordan in left. So the only thing I can think of is you take Paredes and you flip him for some outfielders. And you get maybe, I don't know, one MLB ready outfielder that you can play from game one. And then other than that, maybe a bullpen arm, something like that, or at least another pitcher that you can throw into AAA, and we can bump that AAA ranking that we were talking about from 19 to like 15 or 14. But I don't know. It's the thing that we all collectively don't know is if they did do something like that, then how handcuffed are we financially speaking moving forward over the next few years? And I know we're about to drop, you know, the what do you call it? The Abreu contract, and who's the pitcher that
Montero.
Montero. Thank you. And that's about to drop off the books too. So I don't know. Is the biggest answer I've got for you. But if we have an opportunity to get Bregman back, yeah, take him. That's all I'm going to say.
So I think my response to that on Twitter was, excuse me, was I'm kind of excited to see the lineup that we currently have. And it's tough because it's Bregman, right? I mean, it's Alex freaking Bregman. But I'm also kind of excited to see what like I said, the current lineup is. Now, if they were to come back and say, hey, we'll take 175 at your 6 years, like, I think I'm okay with that. But then that becomes, like you said, Bros, you're going to have to move Paredes. You got to move them. And then at that point, it becomes, okay, now we're going to move him for an outfielder, possibly. At least I would think. Because you don't really
You'd have to.
You don't have, at that point, if you haven't signed an outfield replacement for Tucker, now you're going to move him for, you'll move Paredes for one. So that kind of part always works out or would work out. But my first response to it is, hey, man, I'm cool with what we have. I want to see what we have with this younger lineup. Now, I know Christian Walker's not younger, but Paredes is younger. Wisniewski's younger. So my first response is, thanks, Bregman. Legend. Should never buy a beer here in the city of Houston. Go be with AJ in Detroit. That's my thing. That's my answer to it.
Yeah. So when I first thought about it, I was like, you know what, man? I feel like Bregman coming back, it's like going back to that old girlfriend that you broke up with. It's like, yeah, you have the memories of when it was good. And I'm not saying it was ever bad with Bregman. I mean, there were some times, I'll be real, in the beginning of the season, you know, where we all kind of called him the pop-up king, you know, so there were some highs, there were some lows. But then I made the mistake. I got bored last night and I started watching the highlights of the 2022 playoffs. And then I'm like, yeah, but this is Bregman, though, you know, I mean, this is Bregman. But I feel like the best step moving forward, you know, because I feel like you've already committed to life without Bregman. You traded Tucker, you got the young kid in Cam Smith, right? But then I'm thinking you've already, in that potential Arenado deal, it was rumored that Paredes was part of that package to go to St. Louis.
Yep.
So it's like, if I kind of think and, you know, go back and forth, it's like, how committed are the Astros to Paredes? Is Paredes a bridge guy until Cam Smith is ready? Right? So it's just kind of like, I mean, are they as high on Paredes as we think they are? You know, because if they were, granted, his pull numbers are fantastic for Minute Park. But if he was the guy, then I don't think all the rumors would have came up that he was in that package for Arenado. So I don't know. Maybe if Cam Smith is ready by June, maybe they flip him at the trade deadline for an outfielder. I don't know. But it was kind of like I said at first. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, finish.
No, go ahead. All right. Yeah. So I'm kind of flippy floppy on it a little bit, but I think I'm more 80. Alex will always have the memories, just like we were with Springer.
Yeah.
Just like when it broke my heart to see Correa leave. I think we'll always have the memories that you gave us as Astros fans. But things happen for a reason, right? And again, I'm not saying Paredes is going to be the defensive, clutch third baseman defensively that Bregman was. but at least he'll be enough to hold it down until Cam Smith's ready. So I think I'm more on I appreciate everything you did. Same thing, PK. I don't think you'll ever need to buy a beer here in Houston. But I think it's time for us to see what we have currently, because there's a lot more. Like I said, for me personally, I'm way more excited going into this spring training with the 3 new faces that we have than I was last year, mainly because we didn't really do a lot. So, I mean, that was kind of my thing. So I'm good with us rolling with the lineup that we put together outside of we need an outfielder.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is that you've got Christian Walker for 3 years, right? So if you stay with what you currently have, you could play out this 3-year, window with Christian Walker. And then when Christian Walker's contract is up or whatever, let's say we don't resign. Well, now you have Paredes that can cross the diamond to first, and then you could have Cam Smith at third. So it's a possibility.
Well, in the way I see it is in that Kyle Tucker
platoon him at first base. I platoon Walker and Paredes at first base. I don't know, a couple of years. I mean, I'm just saying, like I think you've got some things there where it depends on how bad that Dana Brown wants to make a trade to get an outfielder. If he doesn't think he can sign one, I mean, Jerkson's still out there. I mean, I'm just saying. Verdugo's still out there. Hayward's still out there.
There's also another big name that you could bring in.
Kevin Biggio's not coming.
I wasn't even referring to Kevin Biggio. I was talking about Santander.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
That's what I said.
Here. No, but I mean,
Santander
honestly, if you think about it, like the Kyle Tucker trade, the idea on that was, I mean, yes, we do need a third baseman with the idea that Bregman's not coming back, right? So I think they covered that basis. But not only that, they doubled it up. So overall, if you're thinking like next level, not Bagwell level, but we're talking like actual MLB GM level, is that you got the best return package that you can. Are these guys that you can use? Absolutely. Are these chips that you can use to turn around and flip and make this team better? It's like when you sign Christian Walker, he's going to first base. You're committed there for at least 2 out of those 3 years that you've got him for. You already knew that. But when you traded away Kyle Tucker to get these guys, these are chips that either one, you can use on the field, like we said, Paredes right away, or 2, if we need to get rid of him or Cam Smith or anybody else, we can absolutely do it to improve this team. So I think it was a win-win on that. We just got to figure out what they're actually going to what they're actually going to do. And then, it's the outfield's got to get solved. I'm sorry, but a Myers and McCormick and question mark is not going to cut it. So between now
there's no question
and
mark.
27th, we got to figure it out.
Yeah, there's no question mark. There's a platoon.
There's a definite freaking need for competent outfielders. That's what we need. Now look, Brian Randall's like, man, he's like, pray that McCormick gets back to 2023. Look, I'll take 2023 McCormick.
I will too.
I'll take it. 20 plus home runs, the League City Chomp guy, right? Like,
give me Chaz Chomp, dude.
The whole thing. I'll take it.
I like
he's relatively cheap.
Well, I mean, like also too, like you had that big expectation from him going into 2024. Can he replicate it? Because you had like all that. Because wasn't there that report that for some reason Dusty Baker didn't like him or something like that, and then he still like completely balled in 2023, and then he fell flat on his face in 2024.
Well, he injured his hamstring, and he missed a minute, right? And then he
did.
I mean, he wasn't crushing before the hamstring, but when he
definitely wasn't crushing afterwards.
He wasn't crushing it when he came back. So there's listen, man, we talk about this every week. We talk about this offline all the time, but like there needs to be an outfielder. There's Jerks and Profar, Verdugo, Hayward, Santander's out there. Kike Hernandez is out there. I think.
Here's a name. Randall Gritchick's out there too. That would be.
Yep, I saw that. We were actually connected to him.
Good signing right there.
Look,
man, I will take Randall Gritchick all day.
Yeah, there's some ballers out there. They're not superstar. Take the headlines, but you need a competent outfielder, and you got to get something better than what we have currently. What better than what we're currently going to run out? You know what I mean? So any of those guys that we just named, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an MLB bat that can hit, 20 home runs over the season, give me like 70 RBIs, and hit 245. If you give me that,
play good defense.
If they sign
and
Hayward, are y'all cool with that? If that's
Who?
the only move they make for the outfield and they sign Hayward?
Ugh. I mean,
yeah, see,
I like it. I like it as a depth piece, but do I want him out there every single day?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I feel like you have depth. Like if you needed a fourth outfielder, you have Jake Myers, right? I mean, I've already said it. Whatever. What I'm saying is that if it was up to me, which it's not, Pedro Leon would be my starting center fielder until he could show me that either he's not ready or whatever it is. He would be my starting center fielder because I know what I have in Jake Myers, right? Chaz is kind of a wild card. Are we going to see 2023 Chaz, or is it going to be a 2024 repeat? So the guy that I'm most excited about, again, would be Pedro Leon. Stick him out there. You go sign someone like Randall Grichuk, stick him in right, and then then you're at a point where you have now. Here's another thing too. You don't even mention DeZenzo at left field.
Yeah,
you can sign Grichuk to play right field or any competent outfielder. I like Grichuk. Obviously, number one is going to be Profar, but let's say Profar signs for somebody for 3 years. You put Randall Grichuk in right field, and then you put Pedro Leon in center, and then you put McCormick in left, and then Myers is your fourth outfielder. What you could do now is let's say I still I don't know. I don't know if I want to trade DeZenzo and try to upgrade. I mean, but if you have your outfield set and we're giving everyday playing time to Pedro Leon, then obviously you're not going to try to add an additional outfielder along with Grichuk or whoever we add. So, I mean, we're kind of again, we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's we need another lefty at bat. We do. All we have is Jordan. That's it.
What about Merrifield? Is it Britt Merrifield?
Oh, Whit Merrifield? I think he's a right-handed hitter.
I thought he was a lefty.
I'm pretty sure he's a right-handed hitter. See, I like Profar because he's a switch hitter. So,
yeah.
So that works. I mean, but as far as I think if you have to sign an outfielder, you have to go another left-handed at bat. Because your only other lefties are Caratini and Singleton.
Yeah, he is
but that's why Hayward can platoon though. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you can pick Hayward up cheap. I guarantee you we could get him for $2 million a year and put him on a one contract. I mean, or sign him 2 years for $5. Who cares? You know what I mean?
But the problem,
and then when we need a left-handed bat, then we can put him in because he still has the defense. Don't get me wrong on that. His defense is still completely solid, and dude can still knock it out of the park. But it's what is he going to do in the meantime? Because the guy's not going to be there, just get your base knocks going oppo or hitting the doubles into the power alley or anything like that. You're not going to see a whole lot of that from him. He's pretty much home run or maybe a single if he gets lucky.
I mean, but again, I feel like you have platoon guys already. You have Myers, who in my opinion is a platoon, and then you have. So let's say you do sign Jason Hayward. So what? Him and Dubon are going to split time in left field or right field? That really doesn't solve the problem.
No, but we've got an entire outfield of platoon guys. We don't have starters out there. That's the whole problem.
What happens? And then you put yourself even more in a hard place. So let's say Dubon is starting in left field. And let's just say, God forbid, something happens to Jeremy Pena. Now you got to flip-flop them all out. Now you have no infield depth on the bench. You have Caratini and you have John Singleton. So what I say, I get what you're saying about Hayward, but it's my point of view is if I absolutely have to, I'm keeping Mauricio Dubon on the bench as my super utility guy to bring him whenever I need to bring him in. I wouldn't anchor him down to being a platoon in right field. And I feel like if you bring in somebody like Jason Hayward, any one of these below, like because you have your A, B. A right now is Profar and Santander. B is like Verdugo, all these guys that are still starting MLB outfielders. But then you have your other guys that are the next tier down, your Ben Gamels, your Jason Haywards. Those are your guys that you're platooning because really they're depth and they're more of like fourth outfielders.
And why
And
were they playing so much last year was because Tucker was hurt.
Yeah. I mean, so
Right?
like if
So
Tucker was
they're
playing,
not they're not everyday players at all.
I mean, again, at the end of the day, if that's our move is to bring back Hayward, I think that's better than doing a Dubon / Taylor Trammell. But then PK was talking about there's always that one person on a prove it deal. I think it's not very likely. I mean, but there's always that chance Taylor Trammell's this year's Jerks and Profar. So you don't know. I mean, but for
It'd be
us
a lot
looking
cooler
at
if he did that though.
it'd be a hell of a lot cooler if he did.
Yeah,
But I think
cool.
if we're putting our eggs in a basket of what's more likely to happen, someone like Verdugo or Grichuk or
Jesse Winker
or Jesse Winker doing what they normally do, or Taylor Trammell, having a breakout year, I'm going to put my eggs on the basket on the guys that are proven instead of the guy that we're hoping, because that's all our outfield is right now. We hope McCormick can be, 2023. We hope Jake Myers finally puts it together, but it's not going to happen. Jake Myers is who he is.
What
right?
year is this for Myers? Like 4
or 5. I mean, he's essentially a better hitting Jake Marisnik. That's basically who Jake Myers is.
Yeah.
I don't mean that with any disrespect. I mean, because he's a starting center fielder. I'm sitting at home, right? But what I'm saying is that, and then you have Dubon, and then you have Taylor Trammell. Does Dubon not produce as much because now he's overexposed because his niche is being a utility guy that comes in. A lot of pitchers don't get a good look at him. If he's starting most of the time, pitchers are going to start getting a whole different playbook on him. So maybe his numbers go down. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, like if like with Dubon, as much as I give him flack for, I think his niche should be super utility guy. Don't overexpose him. That's my opinion. But we need an outfielder like yesterday. But I'm good with anybody they bring in.
Yeah. No. Well, Santander, Profar could be at 1-2. I think Profar is probably more I won't say likely, but more reasonable as far as cost is concerned. I think. Do you agree or no?
Who, Profar?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was betting on, I had to pick one out of him and Santander, I would definitely say the likelier chance is going to be Profar. But I think the even likelier chance is going to be the tier of Verdugo, Grichuk, and Winker, Hayward, and Gamel. That's probably the most likely, tier if I was to put my money on it. So I mean, I'm not putting my money on it. I'm not.
No, it'd be interesting, man. I mean, look, it's we just need outfield. We need outfield help. That's what we need. So
it's so early though. I mean, but we're getting down to time. I'd say here in about the next 2 weeks, hopefully a lot of moves get done because you want to have a team by about a month out of spring training. And especially
if you're the actual date. What's the actual date for spring training reporting?
I think
pitchers and catchers or everybody?
13th?
No, pitchers and catchers.
I think they're the 13th. I think.
Okay,
you're right.
Usually it's around Valentine's Day, somewhere in there.
It's
for some reason
13th
17th is in my head, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's right.
So 13th. So
all right, so it's a month and 11 days.
Yeah,
first game's on February 27th.
Yeah, so I'm assuming a lot of these players want to probably know where they're going to be playing spring training in the next few weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm hoping that they got one more rabbit up their or ace up their sleeve. I would love to be rocking that.
Boy, I tell you what, it would be sick to wake up to a text or a push notification about a signing for Santander or Profar.
Yeah, I mean, I'd I'd be just as happy to Grichuk too. I mean, so
Well, I mean, what I'm getting at is like, one of
yeah,
the
the
guys
upper
we
tier,
talked,
the upper tier,
the
I
upper
got you.
tier outfitters that we can go after. So, look, before we get out of here, we got to make our hot takes. We got
Well,
some
no,
hot takes.
we got 2 more things to do. Both of them should be pretty quickly. So as we have officially put the bow on 2020, and I put this out, and I think PK already squashed my dreams because he's a jerk.
That's correct.
So for everybody here, anybody who wants to comment what's your most memorable moment of the 2024 season? I put out it was the Loperfido catch that he made in Minnesota, mainly because it was one of the first games Benjamin watched with me, and he was stoked when he made that play. So now every time, like we'll throw the ball in the house, if he tries to catch it up against the wall, he'll ask me, "Was that a Loperfido catch?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was."
What you need to have him do is, now kids do the Kobe when they're shooting the trash, right? So when he's going up for the catch, he's got to tell him, you got to go Loperfido. That's what he's got to do.
And then he's got to pack his bags and go to Canada.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen. All right, so PK Bryles, what was y'all's most memorable 2024 Astros moment?
So for me, it was watching Ronell's no-hitter.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But then on top of that, me and my girl were there the following night for Christian Javier's one-hitter. I mean, right after, the next night. So it was kind of 2 of them. I mean, we have a buddy of ours that I'm going to say this and it's going to sound really rude, but he knows that we make fun of him every day. Like he didn't deserve to be at that game because he just doesn't. It's our buddy Andrew, but he was there to witness this no hitter. So I'm happy for him, but that's probably it's memorable for me because of the fact we didn't know what we were getting with Ronell, right? It's kind of just coming into, last day roster ad essentially coming out of spring. Guy's older, baseball older, right? So for him to come in there and do what he did, I mean, hell, his first 8 starts, I think it was 8 starts, wasn't it? Something like that. I mean, it was pretty disgusting. So the no that night, and then in person the next night for the one hitter with Christian Javier with my girl. So those are the two for me. I know we didn't ask for 2, but they were back-to-back nights. So
I don't ever follow the rules.
I never follow the rules.
Why we can't have nice stuff. All right, Bryles, go ahead.
No, I was going to say
5. Let me hear your 5 memorable moments.
Yeah, he had 10.
I was going to say Ronell Blanco for the no-hitter too, because you nailed it, man. We had no idea what we were getting with him. We thought he was going to be good, but that's, Astros us coming out and being like, "Oh no, he's going to be fantastic. Don't worry about it." But no, dude came out and he was nails, not only for the no-hitter, but then for the entire season. But since you took that one, here's the one that I'm going to come
Are you going to say it? I think I know what it is.
My number one moment was our owner coming to his senses.
Oh.
And finally getting Singleton at first base and making sure the bad contracts we had got kind of pushed out. And don't get me wrong, it's like I love Abreu, but at the same time, it was time to move on. I was afraid the entire time that we were just going to be stuck on bad contracts and that we weren't playing the right players. But that was, I think, one of the biggest moments. I think it kind of turned the team around. And not only that, Chris, you also too, it was like Loperfido coming up, that energized the team immediately. So it's like, I think we had a number of things that happened throughout the season that actually kind of kicked us forward. And those are the 3 biggest ones to me.
I thought you were going to say being at the game for Loperfido's first home run. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. That was badass. And you were there with me.
Well, no, I mean,
awesome.
I was.
Yeah. You can also look at the Orioles series in June when they beat the shit out of them.
Right? Yeah, that was another one.
Moment. That was a big moment for the season.
I mean, another one personally, just for me. I know we only said one, but
see what happens? I set the tone.
You started it, and now we're going off the rails.
It's not just one, Chris.
It was one of the few times I let Benjamin stay up late to watch. It was the Astros and Dodgers, and they went in extra innings, and then Bregman hit the walk-off. the walk-off bomb, because it's still something that he talks about today. Oh, is that the Bregman walk-off? I'm like, no, he's gone. Get over it. Okay. So
Here, stop crying.
all right.
kid.
So as before we wrap this up, I want one PK, one hot take for the 2025 season, and we'll start with PK. Go ahead.
You said just one, right?
Just one.
All right, so I only have, and it's a good thing I only have one. My hot take for 2025 is that Yainer Diaz is going to finish in the top 5 of the American League most valuable player.
Ooh, I like that. I
think he's due. I think he's due.
My hot take is that we're going to have the best starting pitching rotation in the entire AL West. I
like that.
Sincerely think we will. I think we've got the best starting pitching rotation, and I know everybody keeps saying Seattle, and that's the only thing they want to talk about, but I don't care what the Angels did. I don't care what Seattle's doing or what they're trying to trade away or anything like that. And the Rangers look terrible, and then the city to be named later, A's. I don't really trust that rotation either. I think we're going to have the best rotation in the American League West.
Okay, so my hot take is going to be the first one to probably get proven wrong. I'm going to say my hot take is Colton Gordon earns a playoff or earns a rotation spot out of spring training and finishes with the most wins in our rotation this season. That's going to be my hot take. He's my guy that I'm going to say is the pitcher coming out of nowhere from AAA that carries his team when they need somebody to carry it. He's going to be our Ronel Blanco this year.
Okay. I'll take that.
That's my hot take. Now watch, he won't make the team out of spring training, and I'll be done.
And then
that's why I said I'll be the first one to get proven wrong.
Okay,
so.
Do you want to have a 1B? You want to have a 1B?
Nah, I'm going to roll with Colton Gordon. I'm on the Colton Gordon Express. I'm on it.
Hey, look, I like it, man. Those are some good. Those are some good hot takes. I should have known you were going to go for like a minor league type of thing because that's your thing, But I like it. I don't think you're too far off. I mean, like once you get past the spring training, I think you're doing pretty good. But he's got to make the team out of spring first.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll be the first one to get proven wrong. So
yeah,
I'm willing to roll.
That's the hottest of takes.
That's the hottest of takes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, guys,
I like it, man.
We got anything else?
No, I think we'll be back next Thursday, same time, all the same channels: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter now. Verified on Twitter. We're live on X now.
We got the big boy check mark on Twitter. So now it's about to hit the fan. Yeah.
So
all right, PK, take us home.
Tuning in. Thank you for everybody tuning in this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know we did, but we will see y'all next Thursday. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on X. And until then, my guys, I'm PK. That's Chris. And that's Bryles. And you're listening to the Juice Box Heroes.
Hook 'em.